It works. That's all that matters.
Good.
I just needed to see it before I pressed the button, because I'm not doing that shit again. Not doing it. Not doing it. All right, look, CD, I'm gonna start the show off.
Good.
I'm not even gonna pretense this shit. I got some shit to get off my chest
Alright.
because, oh my god, this shit is insane. So, I finished Beyond the Dawn, or whatever it's called, the DLC for Arise. I finished it. I rolled credits. Okay, listen, CD. On this show, we have oftentimes talked about difficulty spikes, right, for RPGs. You know, bullshit difficulty spikes where you get to a boss, the rest of the game is fun, and then you get to that one fucking boss and it fucking curb stomps your ass. Well, today, see, this boss did not curb stomp my ass, but this boss was definitely going to force me into a battle of goddamn attrition. The final boss is one of the spongiest fucking time-wasting boss I've ever fought. And there's two of these fucking things, too, which makes it worse. Because the first time you do this, it's like, okay, the first time you fought this particular... I don't know how far you are. I don't want to spoil these fights.
Far in.
I don't want to spoil these fights, because I do want you to... I want you to play them. I almost want to tell you not to do it, because it's that bad. The first thing you fight, I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I know this is going to be a bit of a tedious thing, right? The second one? No, that's absurd. That's uncalled for. I'm pretty sure the majority of my video length is just me fighting the fucking boss. It's just the fight. I will go so far as to say I think combined it took me about almost 45 minutes.
For the second one, just for the second one, or for both?
For both total. I think about 45 minutes total. Maybe, because I mean...
Okay, and how much of it the first, how much the second, would you say? A third for the first, 2/3 for the second?
I think the second one was longer. The second one is easily longer, so I'm going to say it's probably like 2/3 for the second, 1/3 for the first.
That's what I meant.
It's a pretty long... And the thing is, it's not like this, this was like the hardest thing I've done in this game, right? The extra fight you can have with Almadria's dragon and the side quest that you can do, that was a harder fight than this shit. That was by far a far more difficult fight. This was only difficult.
So essentially, the bosses don't dish out as much, but they can sponge a lot.
So the second fight, the fight goes on so long that you run the risk of either he could just kill you by attrition. So, you know what I mean? Like, because he has attacks that one of the attacks he can do, the second boss fight at the end of the game, he literally lowers the entire party's health down to 1. Or can potentially do that. And there's nothing you can do for this. You can't stun him in out.
You can just heal up again and that's it.
Yeah, you can't stun him out of it. You can't dodge it. It's a full screen fucking AoE attack that knocks everyone down to basically 1 HP. You're basically fucked. And you have to basically just hope to God that either you can heal yourself enough or the team decides to do their fucking job. Thankfully, team did their fucking job. I will give the AI credit this time around. They did a good job. I will give prop for prop is due. But fuck.
Good.
The fight just takes so goddamn long, and there's no real good reason for it. I don't know if it's a design thing, because all right, I'm gonna admit something I'm not proud of. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna admit it. I'm not proud of it. I don't like that I did it, but I did it. So, money at this point, money in this DLC is basically impossible to get your hands on. Maybe you're supposed to just do a bunch of quests, but when quests are only handing you out like $2,000 gold a quest, and the items and the newer weapons that you want to be able to make are costing like 18, 20, 25 grand just to fucking make, not including if you try to buy the actual materials to make the fucking things. I blew like $4 and bought the gold deals. Bought like 2 gold DLCs. Okay, I did. No, hold on. I did this for 2 reasons. One, fuck that. I'm not putting myself at more of a disadvantage than I have to. I just want to get through this shit. I was like, maybe the weapons I create will just be that much better. See, I made the second to best weapon for every single character, if not the best weapon for a few of the characters, and this fight still took that fucking long.
Okay. And how much was the difference between that weapon and the one you had, would you say? Do you remember in terms of stats how big of a difference it
Like
was?
400 point difference.
Out of how much in total? I don't
I mean,
know how much it.
like my weapon I was using might have had like 900 something an attack, and then the
Okay,
new weapon might have given
900
me around
attack.
1300.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, that's not a
Yeah,
small
so a
amount of
decent.
points. That
Yeah, that's a decent boost. Yeah. hmm Yeah, so imagine how long it would have taken you with the weaker weapons.
Now, I have considered that maybe it was because I was
hmm
like 85, the boss was 90. But I've had
hmm
level gaps between me and bosses in this game in the past, and they don't usually end up like this. This isn't how this
hmm
usually goes. Like, the game isn't that. This game has not been that unforgiving. You know what I mean? Like, I've
hmm
had reasonable
Usually,
level.
yeah. hmm
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
there wasn't some kind of weakness that you could have exploited. Nothing
nothing.
that was apparent.
Nothing
Mm.
I would have guessed. Like the game's like go after the fucking
Okay.
glowy shards on its body, which you do, but the shards
hmm
break at determined times within its health bar. So it's not like you can break
hmm
them quickly if you focus on them. No, they break at
Okay.
determined times.
hmm
So yeah, gonna be honest.
hmm
I, look, I'm gonna tell you, if this game's ending wasn't the most heartfelt fucking thing I've ever witnessed in a video game, I would toss this DLC into the goddamn trash. Into the trash bin of history with you, you
hmm
fuck. That's ridiculous. But it was one of the most heartfelt endings I've ever experienced, and this is coming from Arise, so you know Arise is like pull out your
Yeah, that
heartstrings
the
is.
regular ending is already high setting there.
Yeah, like if it like Arise already has that bar set for like tugging my heartstrings and like making me love these
hmm
characters despite me not wanting to sometimes. You know, this DLC does
No
not
idea who
do this.
you could mean.
Yeah, this DLC does not do that shit any favors. It's lucky that the writing
hmm
is so good for this DLC, because if it wasn't that good, I would have
hmm
not. And see, this kind of puts me in that fucked situation as a creator, right? Where like,
hmm
so my general rule is once I'm like 4 or 5 videos into a series, I kind of lock in, right? Because after like 5 videos, it's assumed I know what I'm roughly getting myself into, right? Like 5 videos at about 30 to 40 minutes a piece, that comes out to about
hmm
3 hours, give or take, maybe 3 hours, give or take, somewhere in that general ballpark, right? Somewhere,
hmm
depending on length, it could come out to almost 2.5 to like 3 hours. I assume by 3 hours, I have a pretty good lock on what I'm doing, like a pretty good lock of what the general
hmm
curve is gonna be.
Yep.
Nah, bitch, this was
hmm
not that, dog. This was not that. Also, Arise. Jesus Christ, the final dungeons in these fucking games is fucking nightmarish, dude. They take so long.
hmm
I mean, okay, I'm not dumb. I know a final dungeon isn't supposed to be short. I get that. Like I know
hmm
that, but I feel like Arise's dungeons in particular feel like they take an especially long time. I don't. That might be me. I admit that might just be a me thing. I don't know. Me getting through this final dungeon in the DLC, I felt like
hmm
I felt like it was dragging the fuck out. Not to mention,
hmm
this dungeon had some of the most like ball checking, like not boss fights. So to get
hmm
to certain key points that you have
Mid
to
boss
unlock in the
fights.
dungeon, they're not technically boss fights, but they might as well be fucking boss fights. You have to
hmm
fight like 3 of these fucking things, and like they
hmm
escalate in difficulty. So first it's just the one monster, the one enemy, and then it's the enemy and they summon
hmm
one monster, and then it's the enemy and they summon 2 fucking monsters. And that 2 fucking monster summon fight, holy fuck, that
hmm
was Jesus Christ. You know, it's
Okay.
not often. It's not often where I get like halfway through a fight and I'm like, I might just have to die. Because I have a very stern belief of I don't quit until the game
hmm
is over. I don't quit. I will keep fighting until the bitter fucking end. But oh my god, when the game wants to make it clear I'm not gonna win, it makes it very clear I am not winning this fight.
hmm
Fuck. Tales of Arise, man. You fucking cheat. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Maybe you'll figure something out. Maybe you'll be smarter than me and get through it easier. I don't know. I'm just telling you, that was a struggle bus. That was a struggle bus of a fight. Like,
all right,
entirely a struggle bus. Would not want to do that shit again.
would not recommend.
Yeah, would not. Absolutely. I might play the base Tales of Arise again. I will not be playing the DLC again. I'm not doing that. I will not. I'm not a reviewer, but just in my experience, I may have done it, but god damn it, I wasn't happy about it. Fuck. And the fucked up thing is I looked it up, like, because I looked it up. I was like, okay, what's a good way to make money in the DLC? And bro, like 90% of the people were just like, just buy the money DLC, dude. Just fucking do it. Like, fuck it. Like,
okay, so that was Bamco being stupid. Okay,
it has to be. It has to be them being stupid. I don't know what else it could be, because monsters don't drop money. This is another one of those fucking RPGs where I mean, okay, I get it from like a purely like, it's stupid, but I don't think they're that smart, right? Like, because some people might argue, well, why would monsters have money on them? They're monsters. They're not going to shops. Why would they have money? Like, okay, I don't think they're making that argument. Like, I don't think anybody makes that argument.
Nah, given recent developments with Bamco, that's entirely greed.
That's it has to be.
Look at Tekken 8.
What now? Oh, yeah.
Look at Tekken 8. Microtransactions up the wazoo.
And Tekken 8's worse, I think, because like Tekken 8, they dropped that DLC after everything had already, like, it's not like they launched it with the DLC there. It was like, here it is, have fun. No, it's like the game came out, the game gets stellar reviews, is really great, and then they're like, pay up, bitches. Open that wallet. Yeah, open that wallet. We know you got that money. Pay up. Yeah. Swipe that credit card, nigga. You better pay. Yeah, no, I don't think this is monsters don't have money, so therefore we're not gonna put fuck you. That's not it. If that is it, I'm calling every design choice in the fucking question, because that don't make no sense in this context.
Yep.
So yeah, my general opinion, I don't want you to not play the DLC, because I think that everything that happens in it is really good, and I like the way it ends. I like the narrative that it weaves. But fuck, if you get through this, if you get through the ending of it, I'll be happy to hear how you feel fucking about it, because if I feel this way, there ain't no way you getting through this shit and not feeling similar. I refuse to be gaslit into thinking this is my fault. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you've played enough RPGs and Tales games to know. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, I've played my fair share of like just RPGs in general, where I kind of like know what the general gist is. Like, is this going to be annoying? Is this one of those bosses where I get to and it's like, oh no, this is a difficulty wall. Cool.
Yep.
Love that. That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah, and with Tales games, you usually know pretty quickly.
Tales games don't fuck around. Like, when you get to that difficulty wall of a boss, it's a pretty firm kick to the nuts when you hit it. It's not like subtle.
Yep.
They're not subtle.
That fight is done pretty quickly.
Yeah, so not happy with that situation, but here we are. Me having to live my fucking life. So love that for you. Other than that, CD, I have been playing an astonishing amount of Suikoden. Astonishing amount of Suikoden. I've also been playing Romancing Saga. Which one is that? That's the Romancing. One of the remakes of Romancing Saga.
The new one was to Scarlet thing, the Scarlet Saga 2.
Maybe that might have been.
I think was the new one, the one that just recently the one that was shadow dropped.
No, not that one. Was it Romancing Saga? It might have been something else. I gotta go double check which game it was. I'm gonna double check. 1 sec.
Okay.
Let me double check which game it is before I say something stupid. Oh, okay. It was this. It was this one right here. Aha.
Oh, okay.
Romancing Saga 2.
Romancing Saga 2. All right.
Really good. Really digging it. I tried the demo of it and I had like put like 2 hours into it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. So
that was just a bit of a remaster of the original, right? So still pixel style and everything.
No, it's like 3D. It's
like, okay.
Yeah, it's
all
like
right.
3D and
I see.
It's really cool.
So they did pretty much a remake.
Yeah, I'm really digging it. I'll be honest, I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm digging everything that's happening with Nintendo right now, but don't worry, we'll get there.
I mean, Romancing Saga is Nintendo, so.
Yeah, so this is really good. I'm digging this.
That's a Square game.
I'm digging this a lot. This has been a lot of fun. I'm really happy I picked that up. That's been another one I've been putting hours into. And Suikoden, of course, I was going to put hours into no matter what. So
naturally,
I think we already
would have been surprised if you didn't.
Yeah, I think we already knew that what the deal was with that. Other than that, I've been working on Berseria. That's cool.
Yeah. Very good.
I feel a little weird going from one Tales game to another, but I was asked by some friends to not jump back into another regular JRPG. They're like, do another action RPG to spice things up. I'm like, ugh, okay, fine. Which one? Like, they're like, Berseria. That's a really good one. I'm like, fair. I'll do Berseria. Fine. So, man, Tales been really good about like the combat mechanics, like consistently changing from game to game. Like going from the one going from like Arise to going to this one, and then going to like Graces. I'm like, oh, all right, I gotta learn.
Each Grace is different but good on its own.
Yeah, Graces was the Tales game that I officially like locked in. Like to like Tales in general, because I was like, oh, this feels good to do combos.
Yep. Yeah, because that's where they finally ditch the MP.
Oh yeah, the TP and S. Yeah, the having to use like a resource
the limited
to use your
MP.
abilities.
Yeah, exactly. That's that just doesn't work as well with a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, how can I be allowed to spam Demon Fang if I have to worry about running out of MP? I can't spam Demon Fang having to worry about MP. That should not be a thing I should have to worry about.
Don't even mention how much it would cost to use double Demon Fang.
Oh. Oh no. Good job. Good luck, good luck, good luck, Zelos, for being a genius with that one. You throw that shit out more than 3 times, you're gonna be really hating yourself for that shit. Anyway,
you're gonna be a genius with a mana potion addiction.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that's about it. Arise was the big one. That was the thing that's like put me in a bit of a tizzy. Bit of a tizzy, considering how difficult.
Just a bit.
Considering how unnecessarily difficult that was. I don't feel like that's a fair thing to do to a player. I don't know. I feel like I paid money for it. It's that thing of like, obviously the game is meant to be beaten, right? Like nobody's building a video game and making and having you pay for it and be like, oh, it's impossible to beat. Like no one's doing that. Like that's not a thing. The game is obviously supposed to be beaten. Like I'd imagine, like, you know what I mean? Like, I assume I'm supposed to be able to get to the end. So, you know, my first thought isn't this is impossible. My first thought is this might just be bad designed. This could potentially just be very poorly designed, and I'm just thinking too hard and trying too hard. I gotta just turn my brain off and unga bunga this shit. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you.
Alrighty. Alright, well, for me, there have been 2 titles mainly. One, let's go with the first one. Let's go first with the one where we're talking about people not being happy anyway, so let's go with that one. On Friday, the second season of Path of Exile 2 started. with
Okay.
their 0.2 patch.
Mm-hmm.
New content, more another new class, more ascendancy classes, rebalancing, all that kind of jazz. So it started out with first with technical problems on Friday.
Love it.
So
Love it. Love it.
yes, multiple crashes, just pretty much right from the start. I could not get further than after the character creation, right, pretty much where the character starts out. Pretty much always consistently crashed, and several other also had that problem. And then after they finally fixed that, yeah, mm, not. I had a decent experience with the new class, but people altogether aren't very happy because they obviously took away all the overpowered builds that were known and rebalanced it like that to just pull everything down. And apparently they went a bit overboard with that.
Right.
So
So is the class bad,
it
or are people just mad that they can't like do busted shit
no,
anymore?
that's it's in not just with that class, it's in general with all classes.
Oh, okay.
That they
Okay.
took they took it down.
Ah.
The new class obviously didn't have any known OP builds because it's a completely new one. It's the Huntress uses spears that she can use in close combat and ranged. So
Mm-hmm.
you can use your weapon either in a close combat attack or throw it. And there's obviously different skills associated with that. They added around 22 or something like that specifically for that, and they added lots of support gems, new ones. Did they say over 100 new support gems of all varieties? Obviously, a lot of them are only gonna be available later on or for different things. And but people are generally apparently unhappy about the new balancing. So much so
This.
that the rating of the game went down to mixed
Yikes.
on Steam from it's before was mostly positive, so at the moment around 78% positive.
Oh.
The recent ones went down to 50% positive.
Yee.
Now it's exactly 50%.
Yikes.
Yeah. This did not go over so well with people.
So wait.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
So they took
Hmm.
all the classes and just kind of brought them down?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I may okay. So that's interesting. Like I understand
Hmm.
like wanting to balance, right? But usually when your goal is to balance, you pick the things that are like the most out of whack and then bring those you kind of wrangle that shit in. You
Yeah,
don't
they
you don't
took those down, but apparently even more than that.
oh
So yeah,
Jesus. So weak classes
apparently
like
they
the lesser
balanced
classes
everything down.
ah goodness. Well, I mean
Yeah, they apparently didn't really bring the lower classes up.
yeah, that's not
And yeah,
I feel like
and
I've
enemy
heard about this
difficulty didn't really
before.
change that much.
I feel like I
Hmm.
heard about this when Diablo 4 was getting like one of its first big patches. Like it's like the one of its first really big patches and like people were mad that like
Hmm.
everything got
Yeah,
they
probably.
they
Yep.
balanced they overbalanced
Hmm.
everything to like the same general level
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
people
think
were not
yeah.
happy. But
Hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like this is a really overhanded approach to handle it, right? Like if you're it's like okay, we
Yeah,
want
it's
to
a bit
get things in
heavy-handed,
line.
apparently, yeah.
We want to get
Hmm.
things in line, so we will just get everybody to we'll just bring everybody to the same general level regardless of where they already
Hmm.
stand, so we'll just baseline everybody regardless. It's like
Yeah.
cool, so now
Hmm.
you've made strong people weaker and potentially you've made weak people even weaker.
Yep. But certainly not stronger. They stayed weak. And I get that it's still early access and that they have to figure this out overall, but To me, they seem to be taking it a bit too far.
I mean, honestly,
Because
if you're course correcting this fucking
people,
hard in early access, that makes me wonder what you're gonna do once the game actually launches.
yeah, and it's not like the people haven't already been complaining about difficulty when it first launched. It wasn't this loud of a complaint, but that should have been maybe an indicator for them to say, okay, let's not overdo it that much
Yeah,
this
let's not.
time.
Yeah, Jesus.
Apparently, hmm, they ignored that. Apparently,
Oh man, that sucks.
the,
I don't like it.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I do hope they improve on that, but we'll see how that turns out. And the second one was this,
Yeah, of course, of
naturally.
course, of course.
Yep.
It's, big stompy mechs.
Yeah. Although I'm far away from that part yet.
Ah, right, right.
That
Yeah, it
takes a
takes a bit.
while.
Like,
That takes a while with the game until you get your skills, as they call it, in the localization. In the original, in the Japanese track, they call them dolls.
dolls. Okay, I
Hmm.
didn't know that was the name they had for them, but fair enough. Evangelion
Yep.
called them angels. No, that was the monsters they called angels. They called the
That was
monsters
the
angels.
monsters.
Yeah, that was the monsters.
Yep.
My bad.
The good ones were the Ever units,
Mm-hmm.
glorified mothers.
Glorified mothers. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Basically.
Yeah, and
So how much
yeah,
have you put
I've
into
been
it?
putting a few hours so far, not that much, but I put in the test. I definitely did what was it? The first few initial quests where you go out and collect stuff, put in the mining drone, no, not drones, but the mining which what did I call it? Mining probes, and then you find one of the team that got lost or chased away by a monster. So it's yeah, definitely need to be careful at the start because there are quite some high level enemies in the
Oh,
beginning area.
I love, bro.
Thankfully, not all of them are hostile.
Bro, that's the funniest shit in like the
Mhm.
Xenoblade Chronicles, man. That's the funniest shit to get to an area early game and be like, oh, I get to explore,
Mhm.
and then get stomped on by a level 99 fucking enemy. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
what's that? Stomp. Oh, well, yeah, should have been more careful. That's on
It's
me.
like
Fuck. Yeah, should have been more
it's like I'm
careful.
standing somewhere and the controller vibrates and the screen shakes a bit. What's this? I look around. Ah, a 50 level 54 Brontosaurus kind of thing. Okay, sure. Why not?
Yeah, why
Thankfully,
not?
it's peaceful.
It's like, okay, cool. I'm in danger. I am in danger. This is great. I love this. Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade Chronicles games, they do that a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1 wasn't too bad about that. You didn't run into too many.
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't know. I just felt
Oh
like
yeah.
I had the worst luck in that game because I would be like trying to finish a quest and not be paying that much attention and then
Mm-hmm.
like a
It happens pretty
mass.
early on that you get a big level 50 or 40, 50 or something enemy pretty much right in close by to the early town, to the first town, I think it was. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
With that one, you have to be careful. Yeah,
yeah,
because
thanks
that one
game.
actually gets hostile.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, game. Appreciate that. Really like that. Love it.
Hmm.
Love it. Love it when I can die. Love it when I
Hmm.
have no recourse to save myself. And because this works on MMO logic, sometimes I just have the bad habit of like accidentally attracting way too many monsters for me to fight at that point in the game. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, cool. That's 6 monsters. I'm dead. Love
Oopsie.
it. Love it. It's great.
Mm. Yeah, but that one works nicely. And I'm wondering if it's gonna get an update for the upcoming system.
Oh, it probably will. It
Yeah,
probably
very
will.
likely. We just don't know anything about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that someone found something in the code, apparently, that there's something of a 60 FPS mode in there, but that one obviously doesn't work in the with the original Switch. But yeah. Yeah, but
Ah.
that's yeah, that was mostly my week. So,
All right, CD. I want you to talk about the
mhm.
part. I want you to talk about the Ubisoft thing. 'Cause I find this to be hilarious. Cause
All right.
you brought this up and you're like, it has to do with Ubisoft. I'm like, excuse you? You're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah. You heard about it? I'm like, no, no. What? No, what?
Yeah, imagine you have Far Cry 4 as a game. You got that one originally released around 10 years ago. You have that one sitting in your Steam library, and then suddenly out of the blue, update. Multiple gigabytes. So
Oh,
not just a
Jesus.
small few kilobyte one, multiple gigabytes. Okay. And then you wonder, what happened? Turns out, well, people looked into that one, and suddenly character models that previously were topless, essentially, suddenly had a bra or something covering them up. Huh. That's
That's
obviously kind of weird.
fucking 10 years later, and suddenly you decide, nah, we
Mm-hmm.
should probably cover them up, bro. We should probably
Mm-hmm.
cover that up real
Think of the
quick.
children.
Yeah,
Think of all the children that play Far Cry 4.
yeah. Think of all the kids that went to GameStop and think of all
Mm-hmm.
the underage kids that went to GameStop and bought Far Cry 4 at launch. Yeah, all those 13 and 14-year-olds who went to GameStop and bought Far Cry 4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a ex GameStop employee, I just want to point out that's not fucking happening. That didn't happen. I don't that didn't
Mm-hmm.
happen. I would know that didn't happen. If you didn't have an ID, you weren't getting the fucking game. That didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then obviously people weren't happy, complained, and well, then the official Far Cry Twitter account replied to one of the tweets. Apparently, someone bumbled it up and replaced the worldwide version with the Japanese one, which had those changes.
This is giving me real. I replaced one letter with another letter energy, and it fucked up the whole thing when you did it. This is giving me that programming vibe of I accidentally used the wrong letter or number and I fucked up the entire thing.
This reminds me of things like one game released back in the 90s, I think it was still, where you had an RPG. I think it was Temple of Elemental Evil or something like that. I'm not 100% on that, but there was an RPG where the uninstall routine didn't delete the game. It deleted everything in that directory where you had the game.
But isn't that the game?
It deleted more than the game. It deleted the
Oh
everything there.
no! Oh no!
Uh-huh.
Oh
You lost
no!
a lot more if you were unlucky.
Oh! Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
oh. Somebody better have lost a job for that shit, cause that's incredible. That's
Uh-huh. Yeah, and
that
that
is
was still at the
special.
time where yeah, and that was still at the time where you didn't have hot fixes or day one patches and stuff like that.
Yeah, you just
Just quickly available.
mm,
At least not by not that much.
oh yikes.
Whoopsie. Imagine you coming home from the shop, you got your new game, install it, and then you decide, okay, I have to make some space. I'll temporarily remove this one. Click. Why do I have that much space now? What's happening?
The uninstall button just nuked the directory. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoopsie.
man. Oh man, that is harsh. The crazy thing is, I would love to know, like, how you would even make the mistake of, like, distributing the wrong patch worldwide. Because, like, I would assume, right? Now, okay, I've talked about my file management problems in the past, right? Like, you know, I've talked about my problems with doing so, because I know I'm not perfect. But I would think, CD, and I'm just me. I would think you might name the file, the update the thing or folder. I don't know how you distribute these things. Maybe it's a folder, maybe it's a file. I don't know. I
don't have personal experience with it on Steam, but it's probably like you go into the Steam management, add the update, and then set it to the region. I am guessing it's something like that. And someone probably mistakenly set the wrong region.
Someone set the wrong. They're like, all right, time to update the video game for Japan. Let's go. Hits the button, leaves, goes about the rest of his day. Probably doesn't even fucking think about it the rest of the day. And then someone on the social media marketing team was like, "What the fuck?
Why are people complaining here? What's going on?
Yeah, why are all these users suddenly so mad of all of that? Did we do something to the fucking? They're talking about a patch. Did we put a patch out for this fucking game?
Yeah, I mean they originally probably just intended to put out a smaller patch for the achievements that they added recently. I think with Far Cry 4 they had added them a few days earlier, or maybe a few weeks or something, because they're currently updating pretty much all their back catalog and adding Steam achievements to it. Like I think they even added it to the first Assassin's Creed or the second one, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, gonna be honest. You know, I don't think I've ever like uploaded a video and then realized I uploaded like a family video or some nonsense. Upload the entirely wrong thing. I can't fathom that. To me, that's just crazy. I know it's probably not like that, but like my brain goes to that, and I'm just like, I can't imagine like picking the wrong
it probably
file.
was something like it probably was something like that. My guess would be that they wanted to take the worldwide version, but they accidentally selected the Japanese patch or something like that. Or maybe they really fucked up another setting during configuring the Steam entries. But yeah, it certainly was a fuck up that had some effect.
That's impressive. That's hella impressive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta talk. We gotta talk about this. I can't just not talk about it. It happened. And I was not, well, I may have only been conscious for a portion of this because by the time I woke up that morning, I don't follow the same rules as everyone else does when it comes to waking up. So, you know, Nintendo finally dropped the Switch 2 Direct.
Yes.
And
the hour-long one.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to talk about here. So, do you want to start with the hardware or the games or the prices? Or do you even want to start with this? There's a lot here.
Let's go with the hardware first, I'd say. Let's go with the system itself.
So the system itself, I mean, from what I've seen of it, of the videos and stuff, it doesn't seem like it's that much more bulky than the original Switch. It seems like
No,
it's. See,
they did say it in their video in the direct. Larger screen, same thickness.
oh, see, I missed that part. I was asleep, so there
Yep.
you go.
Mm,
I've just gone by
yeah.
like the videos I've seen of people first hands with it, and it didn't look
Hmm.
significantly
Yeah,
different or
it's
bigger than.
pretty much the same thickness. Around what is it here? 0.55 inches is the
Something
thickness,
I've
and
noticed. Oh,
it's a larger screen, 7.9 inches.
something I've also noticed is that the Joy
Hmm.
Cons are magnetically attached.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's really
Hmm.
I never considered that as an op. I was always wondering when they first like showed that little teaser where they showed it coming together.
Hmm.
I was like, what is that
Yeah.
connector there? I don't understand what that is. So it's
Yeah.
magnetic,
Exactly. Hmm. Yep.
huh?
Yeah. Which also uh, It also helps that the shoulder buttons and on the Joy Cons, when you take them off, they're bigger now. It's should be more comfortable to hold if you play
Oh,
with one Joy-Con. But the shoulder buttons are essentially what has the magnet in it.
okay.
Then you put that in, and then yeah, should is I'd say probably a decently strong magnet in there, so that you don't accidentally rip them out too easily.
Nintendo is claiming that the screen itself will displays 1080p. However,
Mm-hmm.
when docked, it will present video up to 4K.
Yeah,
That's
through
what,
the dock you get TV outputs up to 4K. Mm-hmm.
which is, oh, I'm sorry, 4K up to 120 FPS, which be
Mm-hmm.
very interested to see that in motion, to see how it pulls
Yeah,
that off.
the 120 frames is on full HD or 1440p, not on 4K.
Okay.
4K you get 60 FPS.
The article I'm looking at just says dock will be able to provide
Mm-hmm.
output of video up to 4K resolution and
Yeah.
play games up to 120 FPS. So I assume that those two
Yeah,
things.
that's independent. That's independent from each other. Yeah, because I think at 4K 120 frames, your system would melt.
If they could pull
The
that off,
cooling.
if they could pull that off with a system that size, bro, listen. I'm not gonna claim techno. I'm not gonna claim techno magic. I'm just gonna claim fucking
Mhm.
magic.
There would be only two outcomes. Either the system melts, or the dock, including the switch, takes off because the cooler in it has to turn up that much.
Yeah, the console jettisons itself into the air from the fan.
Yep,
Yeah.
because the dock this time actually has a fan in it.
Oh. Oh wow.
Hmm.
Did not know that. Oh. Well,
Hmm.
damn.
Yep.
Okay,
So
so
the high price for getting the dock separately is actually a little more justified this time.
yeah,
A little.
a bit more justified. So,
Just a little.
I'm going to
And
talk
it
about
has a
this.
network connector directly on it.
Oh.
Hmm.
So I'm going to talk about this because since the direct, a
Hmm.
couple details have changed. Uh,
Yeah, and there's
now
still some unknowns.
some of these details only pertain to the country I live in because my country is
Hmm.
currently trying to blow up her own economy, which is
Mm.
crazy. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to simply
Yeah,
say that
just.
at the time of the direct,
Hmm.
the Switch 2 revealed that it was going to be $444.99 USD, and it was going to be $499 USD for the Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they didn't state that in the direct itself, but a bit later,
uh, yeah.
separately. The direct itself only had the date.
Oh, okay. My bad. I just
But,
thought that this information, the article I'm looking at, I just assumed that this article was put out around
mhm.
the same time of the
That was
direct.
that was the first hint to that, so where we knew, okay, this system isn't gonna be as cheap as the first one
Right.
because they didn't mention a price.
Yeah, well, that's that old that's that mentality of if they don't have a price tag when you go and they don't have a price tag on it at the store out for you to see, it's probably too expensive. It's probably too it's probably too expensive. It is. If
Maybe not too expensive, but it was definitely not a $200 mic drop kind of moment.
right, definitely not a $200 mic drop kind of moment.
But
So
but
they
all things
announced.
considered, the price is, I'd say, reasonable in
Yeah,
comparison to what you get for with that hardware.
right. Now I don't know. I don't have a source for this, so maybe you've heard about it
Hmm.
because I couldn't. I didn't
Hmm.
find a source. There's been
Hmm.
talk that the Japanese console is significantly cheaper.
Hmm. Um, there's a difference there. There are two versions that the Japanese people can get. One is the cheaper one, but that one is limited in terms of some things. You can only use Japan connected Nintendo accounts. So, Japan located Nintendo accounts, and you cannot use others, and you can only use Japanese as a language.
Okay, so
So
part
it's
of me.
a local version essentially.
Okay, but
Hmm.
why? Why?
Well,
Why would you do that? I don't. I don't understand.
so because the yen is rather weak currently,
Mm-hmm.
and the original and the directly converted price would be relatively high in Japan. And so as to have a reasonable price for Japanese people, but not have a source for scalpers or people coming there and cheaply buying it, they made a limited version.
That
There is a multi-language version available there as well, but that one costs pretty much exactly the same as the others. Even a
okay.
slightly even slightly pricier. Even slightly pricier converted directly. But
Okay.
yeah.
In hindsight, now that I think about that, does make
Hmm.
sense. But something I've also noticed, and this is something that
Hmm.
came out. I didn't hear about it from the direct. I heard about just through other sources. Was that they have
Hmm.
a system for people to get the for people who genuinely want the console. It's
Hmm.
a invitation system. It looks like, I guess, you have to
Yeah,
sign up.
pre-ordering. Yeah. Hmm.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, they do have like
Hmm.
some requirements. First off,
Yes.
you have to have been an online membership for at least
Hmm.
12 months,
You have
a
to have an
paid membership,
active. Yeah.
active
And you have to have
membership,
an active membership.
and you
Hmm.
have to have a total of 50 gameplay hours as of April 2nd,
Hmm.
2025.
Hmm.
Now, now, I will
Yeah.
say to anyone who's
Hmm.
like, that's ridiculous, 50 hours is not that much if you actually play the
No.
fucking console.
Yeah. And it's a perfectly decent way to filter out scalpers.
Right, because let's face it, if you're a scalper, you're probably not fucking playing the things anyway, so you're not going to have these
Exactly.
requirements.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
exactly.
I am absolutely fine with this.
Yep,
I think this is
perfectly fine.
I honestly think this needs to be more of a thing in general of
Mm-hmm.
like a new
Mm-hmm.
console comes out, cool, we're setting requirements. You have to be a member for
Mm-hmm.
this long, your account. Either that or for some of these places like for Sony or Next and Microsoft, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, look, you have to have had Xbox Live for like a certain amount of time. At least like a year or so.
Yeah,
I realize that's
especially for pre-orders like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. At least for like some amount of time that they can set. Be like, you have to have been a member for
Mm-hmm.
at least this long,
Mm-hmm.
like to verify that you're not just like trying to game the
Mm-hmm.
system and buy a bunch of these to sell. Like you have to. So
Yep.
yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely on board with this. This is a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic way to filter out jackasses who just want to put this shit up on eBay.
Yeah. Yeah, and this rewards people that have been well, long-time fans.
Okay, so there's a feature that they announced, which I
Mm-hmm.
want to give a little background about this. So I have a family group, right, that I have a family group that I have a few of my friends on because they use online, right? And I'm like, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I added a few other people over the last couple of months, and one of my buddies, who's a dad, was like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
please let me add my son. It's like, please, like they added that game share thing. I'm like, yeah, I got you. So game share will let users share a game with friends who don't own a compatible game, so that they can play together. So
Mm-hmm.
that's actually really cool. That's actually a
Yep.
really cool function. It's not the best thing they could have came up with, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not something I would have
I
ever
mean, it's
needed,
a
but it's
yeah. I mean, it's a pretty nice feature because you can, if this is the game share one that was in the direct, it's the
yeah.
one where you can play games in multiplayer with different systems that you own, and other people can join in, which is, yep, definitely very nice.
Which is great because this means I
Doesn't
don't have
happen often in this way.
no, no, not really. So absolutely
Mm-hmm.
fine with that because that's gonna be really
Mm-hmm.
great. Just as far as like now, there might not be as
And
much pressure for people to have to feel like they have to go buy certain games.
yeah, and I think it was even available on the on the Switch 2 for older games. It's not just Switch 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
from what I remember. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And
So
I mean, most of the Switch 1 games are gonna be compatible anyway.
yeah, which actually brings up something I've learned about the Switch too from some tech channels,
Mm-hmm.
which has been that
Mm-hmm.
I guess the Switch they're using a different architecture for Switch 2. So it's not like a
It's
case
a
of
newer
like
chipset.
it's
It's
not
yeah.
the same case as like the PS2 where it's like, oh, it does
Mm-hmm.
PS1 and PS2 and it's all kind of like built in, right? Like, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a
Yep,
better
they don't
example.
have old chips in. They
Yeah, it
don't
doesn't.
they don't have it like, for example, with the PS3 where it came with the PS2 chipset built into it
Right.
directly.
Yeah, it's not
Or
like that.
like with the DS, I think it was, where it also had the chips from the GBA in it,
Mm-hmm. Or the
stuff like
three.
that. It's not
Yeah.
like that. Hmm.
So because of that, I think I'll good.
They're
I don't.
essentially emulating it.
I don't know the list. I know there's a list that's circulating
Hmm.
about what games work and what games are not fully compatible, but I can't imagine. I can't. I think
It's a
the
very
majority of
the
games
games
that
that
people are gonna
aren't
want to play.
the games that are plain not compatible of is very limited from what I've seen. I mean, obviously the Labo stuff, the like. There are some games that have startup issues and that have compatibility issues during play, but those are being investigated, and I'm pretty sure those are gonna be compatible as soon as they get to it, because I've read the text from the developer Q&A from them,
Yeah, that's what they quoted.
and they said essentially they are testing all the games, all the 10,000 or whatever games. They're testing them all because this is such a new way to do it for them, because they are essentially converting the data from the game data into compatible Switch 2 data. It's essentially an emulation, so they probably took something like an emulation like thing. They do it something like that, but they're probably a bit better, and they're doing it like that, which is pretty nice. But it obviously took them more effort like this.
I mean, yeah, 10,000, 10,000
Uh,
games.
The Switch has a fuck ton of games on
uh,
the eShop, and yeah, across all
yeah,
regions.
I mean, I'm just gonna speak for myself as I look over at my
Hmm.
shelf, and I haven't
Hmm.
counted. I haven't counted recently, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it and say
Hmm.
80. I'm gonna risk it. Again, I haven't
Hmm.
counted it in a long time, so it might be less, but gonna risk
Hmm.
it. So yeah, that's Jesus Christ. I don't want to imagine. Fuck that.
Hmm.
Oh man, I'd hate to be that. I'd hate to be those poor saps.
Uh-huh.
Does
Yeah,
this game work? Yeah, does this game work?
My guess is especially at the start when the console is out, we're gonna see quite a few updates related to that.
Yeah. Uh, one thing they
The
announced
system
that
is looking really nice.
is one thing that they
Hmm.
announced was a microphone.
Yep, they
I
have an
can't.
internal microphone
Uh,
with
or is that
a specialized chip in it for noise canceling.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
But overall, from the direct, okay, so
Hmm.
one game was announced that I'm not gonna get it. It's a game I honestly
Hmm.
didn't think would ever actually get actual details and announcement, given how long it's been. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's Silk Song CD. Silk Song.
Ah, right.
Silk Song. It's Silk Song. Even people who
We are
don't play,
getting.
even people who
Hmm.
haven't played the original game know about
Yeah.
Silk Song.
Hmm. We are finally reaching the end of the Silk Sanity phase.
The gaming worldwide fucking gaslighting event that is Silk Song. Where everybody questions whether or not the Silk Song was ever even
Mhm.
supposed to happen. It's like the Mandela effect of
Mhm.
video games.
We're still not sure if it ever will happen, but we have a date of 2025, so we'll see.
So
End of
there
the year,
were
we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things that I didn't even get to see get announced, but the
Hmm.
few things I did get to see was one, the Duskbloods. That's surprising. Uh
Hmm.
I never expected that to
Yeah.
be a thing. Um
Hmm.
that is the I mean, everyone's saying they're getting Bloodborne vibes, but I think that's just people being I think that's
I
just
mean,
people just being, horny
I
for
mean,
Bloodborne.
not. I'd say in parts, but it's definitely different from plain Bloodborne. It's Bloodborne, but more with a steampunky vibe, I think.
Mhm.
And from what I've heard, it's also more a PvPvE game, so bit more focused on multiplayer.
They announced a lot of like modern
Hmm.
games that are going to be coming
Yep.
to this as ports to
Hmm.
this console, which
Yep.
is impressive. The amount of stuff that's just
Especially,
being dumped onto this
yeah.
thing. Um,
Especially stuff like Cyberpunk. The
yeah.
Ultimate Edition is getting a release with
Uh,
the full game and the expansion being on the game card
oh wow. Which
when you
I
buy it retail.
guess I guess we should probably talk about the game cards because I don't think
The
we can. I
game
don't.
key cards.
Yeah, okay. So I have heard conflicting things about this. I've been trying to
Hmm.
figure out a set thing. So I'll just tell you what I've heard, and you can tell me whether or not
Okay.
what I've heard is on track or
Hmm.
not. So I have heard
All right.
that one, there are the game key cards, which are basically hardware digital keys. You put them in, and they like
Hmm.
have your system download the game.
Hmm.
That's the first thing I've heard. But I've heard that
Hmm.
as being a thing. But I've also heard that there are
Hmm.
also going to be Switch 2 games that are just on the cart, like the games that we've had
Yeah.
thus far.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
that's also true. So both of those things are true.
Yes. We're gonna have the classic game cards, like the regular cartridges, like with Cyberpunk, where you have the game on the card. And the game key cards are essentially probably just cheaper for the publishers to use, where you have essentially the unlock for the game on the card, which it's essentially a USB dongle.
Yeah, it's a slightly more permanent version of the download code in the box.
Yeah, because it's from the information page that I've seen, it does not link it to your account, so you can resell that or give it to someone else.
Really?
Hmm.
Because that's not the vibe I've been getting. Because the way people have been presenting this, they've been
That
presenting it as
in
this was killing
Mhm.
physical games. So I'm very interested now.
I mean, you could say that in terms of you don't have the game on the card, so you need the download for it.
Right, you do need
Because without that, it's just
a piece
a
of
plastic
plastic,
thing. Yeah, a piece of plastic.
piece of plastic with an executable on it, basically.
It's not even an executable on it. It's just essentially
A
it's just
download
essentially
link.
a code on it. I mean, essentially a download link that the system itself uses, but it's essentially just it's probably just stores an encrypted key on it, and the Switch 2 checks, okay, this card unlocks game X, and then it automatically downloads it from the eShop. Because I am looking at the, let's see, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't mention linking to an account.
Okay, well, that's
Because it just says here, however, like regular physical software, the game key card must be inserted into the system in order to play the game. So the way I see it, it's essentially a cheaper alternative for publishers to distribute their games if they don't want to shell out for the regular price of the cartridge.
Oh yeah, you're right. You mentioned a hardware key. Yeah, that basically is it's an
Mm-hmm.
authentication key, basically. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the thing you use on like PCs. You plug it in and it. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
That's basically what it is at
essentially
that point.
something like that. And given that, and we already have at least two examples of games that use that. It's going to be Street Fighter 6, the 1-2 year edition. That's going to be using one of those, and the Bravely Default remaster. Those are going to
Ah.
be game key cards.
So CD, since we're on this topic,
Mm-hmm.
what's the word on
Yes.
the price for the what's the word on pricing for the games?
Um,
I've heard different
Pricing on the
things.
games?
I've heard
Well,
different things
yeah.
across the board, so I'm not entirely sure which
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah, we don't quite have final specifics there yet. We know that some games are gonna be costlier, like Card World, which is gonna be for us $90. I think for you it's
Eee,
80, but I'm not sure.
eee.
But for you it's 80 without tax. I'm guessing, and the Donkey Kong Bonanza one is gonna be around $10 cheaper than that. So it's gonna be an 80 for us, 70 for you kind of price. And from what I've seen, I don't think we have official confirmation of this yet, but apparently they're supposed to be cheaper on the eShop as the base price. There's supposedly a $10 difference between digital and retail. But I haven't seen any official confirmation of that. I've just seen some screenshots and news items distributed on that.
Which
I
brings
haven't seen
me
an
to
official
something I want to
implementation there
bring
yet.
up now, which is
Mm-hmm.
due to what's going on in my country, the pre-orders for the Switch 2
Mm-hmm.
have been delayed.
Yes.
They are not happening when they're supposed to be until further notice or
Yeah.
until they figure things out.
Officially, it would have been, I think, April 9th.
And depending on how things play out, oh boy, that's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
fucking nightmare, nightmare hellscape for pricing. Because the
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
predictions are
potentially.
if things go the way that they're looking, this console is gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
$500-600 instead of the $450, depending on how things go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
possibly. Possibly. That's gonna be interesting to see how that shakes out. Because I think April 9th was the official date for the pre-orders before that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
but the general release date is June 5th. That one is set in stone.
Yeah, CD was right, guys. CD was right. He was right. It's summertime. Who would have
I was
thought?
close enough.
Oh. I didn't think they'd do it in the summertime. He turned out he was right. He's like, well, why wouldn't they do it in the summertime? It's right there. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. Fair enough. Honestly, what surprises me more is I guess I just didn't expect
Mhm.
it to be coming out so soon. I would have
Yeah,
thought we would have had a
it
little
is
bit
pretty soon.
longer
That's true.
before the console. I mean, I knew we were going to
Mhm.
get the announcement, but I didn't think it would be like we get an announcement in April and it comes out in June. Like that's
Mhm.
pretty intense. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
some
mean,
like that's some hardcore almost shadow dropping at that point. It's like we're announcing this new
almost,
console and
almost.
it'll be in stores tomorrow.
hmm Yeah, thankfully they did not go the Saturn route.
Yeah. Which one was the Saturn route? I didn't know about that one's release.
I think that was the system where they announced it available now in shops, in selected shops. I think that was the one
Oh.
where they announced it on the E3 probably, or whatever was the equivalent back then, and they said here available now in selected retail shops, which obviously was not a great plan.
Can you
Because
like okay?
some other shops were not happy with that.
Can you okay? So I want to talk about that in a retail sense as someone who's worked retail.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to be one of those shops that
Mm-hmm.
had them. I would hate it. I'll tell you why. Because do you know what that means? That means that if this thing turns out to be successful, I'm getting swamped. We're gonna get swamped for
That means
days.
a Black Friday scenario.
Yeah, that's a code red Black Friday scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck no,
Yep.
fuck that. I'd be pissed. I'd
Mm-hmm.
be so
Yeah.
mad.
But imagine if you're a retail chain that got cut out of this deal.
That's
You're not gonna be happy either.
you'd be pretty pissed. Be like, oh wait, I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it. My competitor
Yeah.
gets
And
it.
I
I don't
think
get it.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I think pretty big ones were cut out back then. Were
Oh,
left out, like Walmart, I think, because
oh,
they just didn't have enough consoles.
Walmart isn't really a company you want to cut out for your
No,
console sales. That's not exactly
you
a.
really don't.
Uh,
Especially back then, retail was even bigger. Nowadays, the role of retail has lessened, but back then, whew,
yeah, wouldn't be too keen on looking retail to
getting on the
basically being like,
backside, the bad side of Walmart, ugh,
yeah,
that's not good.
like you wanna pick an enemy, my
hmm
dude.
You don't want to.
You really picking an enemy with that.
hmm
That's
Yeah.
that is diabolical to look at Walmart and go like, try me. Like that's oh
hmm
Jesus, Jesus.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if it was Walmart that was one of the affected, but I am pretty sure, and it certainly was some of the bigger chains.
Oh man,
Some of the bigger
imagine.
chains definitely got left out because Sega just couldn't produce enough of them on
Yeah.
time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was one of the many bad moves they did back then.
Yeah, I mean, aside from it just being a Saturn, aside from
But
just
the system itself was still a good one, but obviously had its problems. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't
wait,
really a terrible console. It had good. Hmm?
wasn't the Saturn announcement the same one where the plate where Sony came out and was just like was that the
Mm,
same announcement where Sony announced the
my,
PlayStation and like dropped it and like dropped the price and like the crowd at the conference like explodes.
might have been at that time. It might have been at that time. Yeah, that might have been. Yeah, that would fit. I think that was the same generation because
Cause it was
the Dreamcast was PlayStation 2 generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was probably that. Yeah. That was also one of their problems. Yes, definitely.
Sony walked out on stage, stepped on
Mm-hmm.
their foot full on with the fucking heel. It was like $200. Thank you very
Two
much.
ninety nine probably.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
299.
yeah.
Done.
Yeah, there was no like pomp or circus. He just walked out on stage, dropped
Mm-hmm.
that price, walked right off the stage. That's all I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pack it in, we're done.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
overall, there are some really cool things now. The Bravely Default kind of has me in my feelings about it. It has me kind of in my feelings. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm
Did
kind of
you
in my feelings about it.
did you see the mix-up video where they collected several reactions for the Bravely Default reveal?
Mm-mm.
Where they initially thought that would be Final Fantasy IX.
Oh no. Oh
Happened with several
no.
people,
Oh
Max included.
no. Oh no. Oh
Hmm.
no.
So the
Oh
first few seconds or so, wait, is that? They got their hopes
no.
up, and then
No, it's not.
when they
It's
saw the
not.
character, then they really saw the character. No, that's not her.
I'm in my feelings about Bravely Default. I'm gonna be real with you. I
Hmm.
don't want to commit. I'm not gonna commit to buy the console. I never buy consoles at
Hmm.
launch. I buy by default. By default,
Yeah.
my general standard. I always wait the
Eh,
first year. But
You're not
I'm in,
gonna go bravely. You're gonna go default.
yeah, I'm defaulting. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm in my feelings
Hmm.
about it, and I hate it. Like I was so upset. I'm like, oh, Bravely Default. Maybe I'll see that on Twitch. No, it's Twitch 2 exclusive. Fair enough. Yeah, well,
I mean, naturally.
yeah, fair enough. I guess that's fair. Can't fault you
Mm,
for that.
yeah.
I'll be in my feelings about it for a bit, but I'll get over it.
Hmm.
I got too much to play
And
right now,
it's
anyways, to be thinking about another
yeah,
console. So I'll be honest with you.
and it's quote unquote only $40. So that's also decent.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So either way,
Hmm.
I'm good. I got plenty to play right now. I'm not stressing
Yeah,
it. But there were a lot of Jesus
definitely.
Christ. By the time the direct had finished, I went online to go look up everything that happened during it, and I'm
Hmm.
like, fuck. Good lord, guys. I
Hmm.
genuinely feel like Nintendo's like, okay, the Switch was great. All we gotta do is just make this thing a bit more powerful. We just gotta make this thing
Well, a bit,
a bit more
a bit.
powerful. Yeah. Yeah, a bit more powerful, and
Uh-huh. Yeah,
honestly,
Metroid Prime 4 on TV, 4K 60.
just a bit more,
Yeah,
just a bit
that's a
more
little more
powerful.
powerful.
What I'm actually more surprised about, I really would
Hmm.
like to know how they're gonna pull this off, because like we have
Hmm.
PC handhelds that,
Hmm.
like, I know the battery life that they have listed
That's
for is a
yeah,
little
that's pretty
bit
much
less.
what you have,
Yeah,
what you had originally with the Switch, 2 to 6.5 hours,
yeah. So
which is very close to what the original Switch had. Yeah.
So I mean, all things considered, I'm very curious how they're pulling off these specs on something
Hmm.
as thin, as compact as the Switch was.
I mean, one reason is obviously the it's not a full PC chipset. It's not an AMD or Intel chipset. It's a mobile chipset, just like with the first Switch.
That would
That
help.
helps.
Yeah, when you're
Hmm.
not trying to
And it's a
cram,
specialized chip. And it's a very specialized chip,
when you're not trying to
custom
cram
made. Hmm.
a bunch of PC stuff, even smaller
Yeah.
versions of PC
Hmm.
stuff into a handheld. Yeah, you're probably going to be able to get the profile
Yeah.
down quite a bit.
Hmm. And it's even if it's much more modern, it's still not gonna be obviously the newest generation of hardware. So that also helps. So it's probably gonna have a decent power draw. But and obviously, I mean, 2 hours to 6.5 hours is a pretty wide range, and I mean, naturally with Cyberpunk or something like that, you're gonna have the 2 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be closer to 2 hours than anything else. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
Far
interested to
closer to
see
that, yeah.
what happens when this thing launch. All the first impressions of people who got their
Mm-hmm.
hands on it at the event
Pretty good.
were
Pretty good. Mm-hmm.
pretty impressed. So I'll be interested to
Yeah.
see how this thing turns out once it actually launches.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some
Uh,
stuff like the comparison with Zelda with the loading times, which is definitely significantly quicker. Although I'm not sure if that was with the upgrade or just the basic game, but it could be the basic game. We'll see.
I'll be honest. Like we saw when
Mm-hmm.
this isn't like apples to apples, but when like the
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 5 launched and the PS and the
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Series X launched, there were a bunch of like
Mm-hmm.
PS4 games. Like more specifically, the one I'm thinking of is like a Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
The PS4, they were playing it on the Series X, and
Mm-hmm.
that game's load screens were so stupid fast on. It was just
Mm-hmm.
the PS4 version. It
Yeah.
wasn't even a PS5. It wasn't even like the
Mm-hmm.
current. They hadn't even done the upgrade thing yet. It was just the PS4 version being played on the. It was just
Mm-hmm.
the last gen version being played on the new consoles,
Yeah.
and those load times were insanely fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why I believe that the load times on the Zelda one are just the main game without any updates because I mean they did say that the built-in memory is going to be significantly quicker, which I believe, and they're also supporting the micro SD Express cards,
Yeah,
which
I
are
saw
also
that.
significantly quicker if all goes well, because those can I've looked up an example of a card from SanDisk, which is a micro SD Express that can read something around 800 megabytes per second and write around 600 or something at max, which is yeah, that would do significantly nice load times.
Hmm. So yeah, very interested
Mm.
to see, and more than likely, I have to imagine. I mean, I would love to see just how this thing performs once people get it in
Hmm.
their hands. Honestly,
Oh yeah, certainly. It's gonna be interesting to see once this gets distributed in June. Once
and
people have it in
honestly,
their hands, play it.
I'm more interested in waiting for some of the special editions that eventually come out for it, because those are the ones I usually dig anyways.
Naturally.
So I want
Hmm.
to see what kind of like cool
Switch
special
to
editions
light.
see what kind of other models they come up with. Because some
Hmm.
of the late like special editions for the Switch got really nice looking. They became really nice
Hmm.
looking once they started like
Yeah, like the
at,
Zelda one that looked
yeah,
quite
the
nice.
Zelda one, the Splatoon one, the Splatoon 3
Hmm.
one or 2 one, like three
Hmm.
Splatoon 3 one. That one was
Three.
also
Pretty sure it
really
was three.
nice.
Yeah.
That one was also really
Hmm.
nice. So once they actually started trying to like do
Hmm.
something with these special editions, they got really nice
Yeah.
looking. You know, when
Hmm.
they went beyond just putting some special art on the back of the console, having everything else just be the
Hmm.
same as a normal console, they could do some really cool
Hmm.
shit. So hopefully they do some cool shit with
Yeah.
this one too.
Hmm. Let's hope they don't make a Donkey Kong Bonanza version that's completely destructible.
I mean, any Switch can be a Donkey Kong Bonanza version if you try hard enough.
Technically, yeah.
If you're motivated, any
Hmm.
console could be that one if you really wanted to. You know, it doesn't. You just
Once.
have. Yeah. It's
It's
the
like anything can be an LED once.
yeah, what? It's the Daffy Duck magic trick. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, this is my best magic trick. At the end, do it again. Yeah, sorry, kid. It's a one time dig. Anyways, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed. There's been a lot. God damn, this Switch 2 Direct took up all the air in the room for the week. I feel like after that Direct dropped, the conversation for the rest of the week was just
People are
about.
pretty much just talking about that, and they're still talking about it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. So very
Mm-hmm.
interested in seeing how that turns out. And as always, everybody keep on
Mm-hmm.
playing those fucking video games because I know you guys got games to fucking play.
Mm-hmm.
I got some furniture moving in here in the next day or so, and first thing I want to do once I actually have a good place to sit in here that isn't the chair I've had in here for the last
Mm-hmm.
almost
Eh.
8 or 9 months is I want to boot up finally play
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 16. I got it cheaply finally.
Eh.
I got it for like $30,
Mm-hmm.
which was like around the price I wanted to pay for an action game and not an RPG. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
know it's an. I'm calling it an action game. I don't care. Fight me. Yes, it's Final Fantasy. It's still an action game. I don't. It's not Final Fantasy 15. All right. I
Definitely
will.
fantasy.
Yeah. I will say I want to go back and continue Final Fantasy 15 at some point because man,
Mm.
yeah, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I get distracted too easily from with other things. At 15, I was having a lot
You
of
didn't
fun with.
complete that one?
I got about halfway. I didn't. It's not. I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't not enjoying it. I just got distracted
Mm-hmm.
and other things caught my attention, so I just didn't get a chance to like follow through. Mostly, I just want to. I want to like get through it so I could like kill a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill a literal mountain. I want to fight the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the clip of like how that quest starts out, and they're like, "What the hell?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you look out in the distance, and there's a mountain that's just
Uh-huh.
like, there's a mountain that's just slowly moving, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes. So if you haven't completed it by playing through it, so you don't know the whole story then either, haven't you? Or have you spoiled yourself on that?
I haven't spoiled myself on.
All right, then
Any.
I'm going to be looking forward to your
I
reactions
haven't.
there.
I have not
I'm gonna be asking you
outside
that.
outside of like me seeing
Keep
some
me up to
like
date.
cool combat stuff
Hmm.
from the game, from like what some of the
All
cool
right.
shit people can do. I haven't spoiled myself on anything for the story, which is
Alrighty.
surprising given how long it's been out
Yeah.
that I haven't like had the
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
spoiled for me.
Exactly. Alrighty, looking forward to hearing about that from you.
So that's on my list of stuff I want to like sit down and like do
Yeah.
because like 16 looks fun. 15 I want to go back and actually get through.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, everybody, as always, you can find this podcast on all your usual podcasting streaming platforms such as Apple, Google, and Spotify, and on my YouTube channel at 7 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern Time. I need to be very clear. Oh, by the way, I'm aware the podcast did not go up as it was supposed to. I would like to explain myself. It was uploaded. Fuck you guys. It was uploaded. What happened was I said to upload and it didn't confirm. I hadn't pressed the confirm button after I put all the information. I was on the very last screen. You're supposed to press confirm and then it sets it. The problem was that I didn't do that. I just said it. I got to that point and then I'm like, good, it's uploading. I already set the time for it to go up. I'm like, cool, it's done. I can just be done with it. And then I get back home at like around 9 o'clock and I wake up my PC and I notice that it's sitting there.
Oh,
and it
it's
hasn't.
uploaded. It's there. Whoops.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. 'Cause I had a different tab open, and I went to my channel to double check to see to look at the podcast, and I'm like, that's weird. Why isn't my podcast up? It's like 9 o'clock. I checked the creator page. And I'm like, fuck, God, damn it.
Whoopsie.
So that's what happened.
That happens.
Thank you. That I was actually quite on time because I had that bitch ready to go at like 5 o'clock that afternoon. I was ready. The audio version went up at 7. I had that shit scheduled. That was good. I finished that. It was the other version that just didn't go up. So look at me, right? Happened to another video I did too. For this time, a power outage had happened when I was like. As the video was uploaded, but the power outage happened so fast, it just happened to turn all my stuff off. But I hadn't really noticed. I hadn't really paid attention.
So it was just a click.
Yeah, it just turned my stuff off, and I had went to go check because the upload had been going for a bit, so I thought the upload was already done. But then I went to go check my channel late that night, and the upload was not in fact done. It was at 80%, and it never finished. So cool.
Oops.
Love that for me. Anyways, everybody, have a fantastic week. Continue playing video games. We'll see you all next time. I hope so.
See ya.
Oh goodness. Oh yeah, I got like this room is I'm in a bit of a transition phase right now. I'm trying to get my shit together. I got like a mover coming to get some stuff out of here and move it into storage, and I'm having an actual like couch thing put in here. Now that I'm like healthy again and I don't require assistance getting up out of a chair anymore, it's kind of important.
That's good.
I'm mostly back to normal.
Very cool. Very cool.
I say mostly. I still have a couple minor gripes, but mostly for the most, like 90%, I'm fine. Just